All right, what's going on? So run through the lunge matrix for you. All right, again, you can use this as warm up, cool down, or you can use it as strictly stretches throughout the day, start the day, end the day, however you see fit. All right, so I'll kind of give brief breakdowns, and then you can allocate reps and timer to yourself, however you want to work that. So starting off, you work your anterior lunge. All right, so that's going to be that forward lunge, anterior just meaning forward, and we're going to look to hit that anterior or front part of the hip there, okay? So cues to work off of as you go through this. Forward step, I want this heel to come off the ground, but I want to be aware of how high it's coming. If it's coming off almost to where all your body weight is just traveling forward, let's bring that and dial that back so that it's just off the ground for a few inches. That will really help to optimize this stretch here, okay, that targeted hip mobility stretch. So once we're there, we just want to check in with that back foot. All right, if it's turned out, let's just make that adjustment so that it's neutral to say the least, maybe slightly turned in. All right, so neutral, maybe slightly turned in. Then from there, let's bring that pelvis underneath you as opposed to pushed out. Pelvis under, you should immediately feel the stretch once you make that slight adjustment there, okay? An anterior pelvic tilt, you will not feel the stretch, all right? A posterior tilt, you will feel that stretch there, all right? So boom, we're gonna go hands high, right? Nice big stretch there, really just lengthening from my right toes all the way up to my fingertips, and then we're gonna take that straight back there, okay? So now left foot travels back, we plant the left foot down, and then we sit into the left butt cheek. All right, so now we have the flexion at this hip. We're looking for the back of the right leg. Now you should feel hamstring, maybe even creeping into your calf there. Okay, and now I'll just sweep the hands down and through, and I'm gonna work that 3 times. So left foot forward, right heel slightly off. All right, nice big reach up, and then sweep down and through, okay? I want to always sit back into that hip. So I would go 3 to 5 on that right side. Switch it up. Here's that's the third one there. Now let's go into the other leg. Right foot forward, okay, same thing, left foot. All right, check where that heel is. Check how the foot is positioned, whether it's turned out versus turned in. All right, tucking that pelvis and reaching those hands high. And then bringing that all the way through. Go between 3 and 5 on the other side here. All right, so just as a recap, once you step back, this is very common, people will step back with the foot and they put the toes in the ground and then they try and sit in. Plant that foot down so you have a firm foundation to sit into that hip. So that left hamstring can now nicely lengthen, okay? So that's your front and your back, right? So you stretch in the front of the hip, and then you're taking it to the back of the hip, both sides. Then we go into your lateral, your same side lateral and your opposite. So I'll start with the right side. Step right, sit into the right hip. Now one thing I want you to be aware of, there's a difference between me going this way and me going that way, okay? Take a note of that again. So if I step right, if I let my momentum carry, it's going to travel this way. You notice how my right knee's starting to go out. My feet are almost picking up off the ground. This one's rolled onto the side as opposed to being planted. Okay, now watch this. I plant, I stop my momentum and drive this hip straight back behind me. So plant, stop, now straight back, and now I sit in. Left foot planted. My knee's not going this way because of momentum. I've stopped it, and now I can focus on the lengthening of this left adductor complex, okay? So in sitting in this, boom, hips go in, left hip, inner thigh, stretches, and you can raise the right hand up and over to the left. All right, so I'm going to do it real time. All right, now that's the same side. So once you step and you work that, you're going to take that right foot straight over the left. Left hand goes high. All right, now this one, you're looking for the lengthening from left pinky all the way down, left rib cage, left hip, feeding it down, okay? Now, the same as when you did the front and back of the hip, think of it in simple terms. Inside of my left hip, inside of that left thigh, now foot comes over, push the pelvis out, outside of that left thigh, all right? We're using the extremities as the extra stretch. So if I'm here, ooh, yeah, I feel my adductors. Wow, okay, now I really feel them. Now right foot comes over, okay, I can feel my pelvis pushing out here, like I kind of feel that left butt cheek, a little bit of the IT band, okay, great. Oh, wow, now I really feel, I feel my rib cage, I feel some of my low back, the QL, the psoas possibly, all right? Let's go about 3 to 5. Right foot to the right foot over the left, inside and outside of the left thigh. Switch it. Let's go left. Plant. Stop momentum. Drive the hip back. Ooh, nice. Inside of that right. Left goes over the right. Right hand high. Outside of that right. So, okay, so again, inside of right, left comes over the right, outside of right, all right? So that's your same side lateral to your opposite side lateral, that's your frontal plane, okay? If I didn't say it for this is your sagittal plane, all right? So I'm sticking strictly to the front and the back, or moving forward and back. This is your frontal plane, which is focused on your left to your right, okay? And now we're going to take it into the transverse plane, which is your rotation. This is usually the one that gets people more confused. Think of it simply. I have a clock face, okay? I'm standing in the center, and then I'm going to leave one foot on 12, okay? This left foot's going to stay on 12. I'm going to open up between 90 to 120 degrees here. So here's 90 degrees. I make a perfect right angle. Here's about 120. I'm going to point my foot and that knee in that direction, okay? Just like so. Then I'm going to sit back into this hip here, this right hip, and again, extending the left leg. Now, you're looking for kind of that inside thigh again, maybe even a little hamstring. So as I step back into this, I'm going to look for inside of my left, and then just underneath, creeping into the hamstring there, okay? I can take hands out, kind of clean the table off in front of me. Now this right foot comes all the way through and plants down. Sorry, I went out of camera view. Plants down here. Okay, so this is about your 10 to 11 o'clock range. If left is on 12, that right foot's coming to 10 to 11. Okay, so again, right foot to about 4 or 5 for 120 degree open. Right foot closes, okay, to about that 10, 11 mark. All right, so what you're doing now, right, everything's been front and back of the hip, inside to outside of the hip. Now we're working that inside to outside spiral, the rotation. So if you watch, left hip had to just open up here, right? So if my left hip is closed, as I open the door, I now open my left hip up. And now I'm going to bring that right leg all the way, and I close that left hip up as much as I can. This is your internal and external rotation of the hip. Very important for really just living your daily life. If your glutes, your adductors, your hip flexors, your quad, your hamstrings don't have access to that rotation, that's where hip pain, low back pain, upper back pain, shoulder pain, knee pains really start coming into play. So keep that in mind. So 3 to 5 on the right, then take it to the left. 3 to 5, going to the left there. So left foot, 120 degree open, extension through that right. I'm keeping that right foot aligned on 12 as the left foot is in motion. So now I'm opening and closing my right hip. Open and close. Open and close, okay? Now one main point I want you to focus on during your lunge matrix. Every time you have a stationary foot, meaning, let's say I take that rotation lunge, I open and I close. Which one's my stationary foot? My right foot, right? It's not going anywhere. It's not moving. Be aware of that. Sometimes what will happen is as we open, if we have tight adductors, you'll see this foot pull with you. And then as you come here to close it off, you'll see that foot start to spin with you. Be aware of the little pieces like that. If you notice that the stationary foot is beginning to move, or maybe it starts to roll or pick up, try and have firm grounding, maybe shorten your range of motion. So if you were going 120 degrees here, and that foot just can't stay still, it just keeps pulling, it keeps pulling in, maybe go to 90 degrees. Go 90, okay, it didn't move, now I'm gonna work this motion here. Okay, maybe I don't go to, let's say 1 or 2, maybe I just pass like 12 just by a little bit, okay? Boom, boom. Even that little bit of motion can create immense amount of freedom at the hip. Please be focused, all right? Please be aware of those pieces. That's your lunge matrix, okay? So I'm gonna run through it very quickly all together now, all right? So forward, back. This is your anterior lunge, posterior lunge. 3 on each side. We go same side lateral to opposite side lateral, 3 on each side. And then we go same side rotation to opposite side rotation, 3 on each side. All right, have fun with it. Use it as you please. Remember, you can use it as isolated stretches, right? If I want to stay here and just work this hip stretch, fantastic. If I've had a rough day, I've been sitting all day, and I just want to stretch my hamstrings out, maybe I'll put my hands on the desk or the couch, the back of the couch, and I'm stretching my hamstring out. So many ways to use it. All right, have fun.